Hello and welcome to MSTV. I'm Neha Chauhan, and today on the Icons Unplugged, day one of orientation at AAFT, we are here with Ranjit Singh sir. He's a director and educator in animation with 35 plus year of experience. He's a chief creative producer at the Web of Studios and also the India's first published animation author. And he's also the trustee of the Animation Society of India. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much.
So, my very first question to you is, what made you choose the animation as your career path?
Very interesting. I'll have to go back many years to figure out why I did that. But yeah, I
Right.
mean, I was not, I was always very clear that I did not want to take, the regular streams of employment or work or professions that were existing in those days.
Right.
And the choices being that I come from a business family and uh, there are already a couple of engineers in the family. So I always had an engineering bent of
Hmm.
mind, but I took up commerce as my as my graduation specialization. So the next progressive level would have always been a chartered accountant.
Okay.
So get into accounting and chartered accountancy, and somehow it didn't sit well with me. I just felt that I wanted to break away from the regular mundane stuff that everybody was doing and wanted to experiment with what else is out there.
Right.
And I came to know about this through a friend of mine that there is something called computer animation. I had no idea what it was, but did the research, found out where it was happening in India, and was lucky enough to get a break with the company that pioneered computer animation in the country. And I was able to get my foot in the door and become an intern, and that's how my career took off. So, I just guess. I mean, it was like um, enough of determination in the head to say I want to do something different, and then just pursuing it, with a wild kind of determination that no, this needs to be done.
Right. So it was like an exciting journey.
Oh yes, very exciting, and met some lovely people along the way. Had some fantastic mentors and guides along the way. Beautiful gurus who gave their all, shared their knowledge, were happy to kind of encourage a youngster coming out of a very conservative background into a field that was still fledgling. It was
Right.
still being developed. So some did some path breaking work. I was lucky to be part of things that we did for the first time in the country, and so it's been an exciting journey. Yes, no doubt about that.
Okay. And talking about animation, so how has the Indian animation industry has evolved over the decades?
Well, there's been a lot of changes that have happened over the decades. In fact, the Indian animation industry, unlike the West, it grew out of the advertising industry, and the advertising industry was primarily the sole, I would say, supporter or promoter or sponsor of the
Hmm.
animation industry,
Right.
because you would get small advertisements and commercial spots that you would do, which had, in the beginning, they would have small segments. So a 30-second commercial or a 60-second commercial would have probably 5-10 seconds of animation in it, to progressing to full animated commercials coming in,
Right.
which was an interesting development. There was a period of time that there were a lot of animated commercials that were happening in the country, and I was bang in the middle of that, so that was a very lucky period. To then slowly an awakening in the theatrical business, which has happened off late, where visual effects has become a very big thing,
Hmm. Right.
and Indian filmmakers are also employing state-of-the-art visual effects techniques to enhance the storytelling experience for their audiences. So to that extent, we've come a long way. Us as a studio today, where I'm working with Vaibhav Kumaresh, is one of the multiple award-winning directors, won several international and local awards. Today, we are in a position where we've just completed our own feature-length animation film.
Wow.
So this is a Hindi film which we have created in animation, and it is 3D CGI. So yeah, it's been a long road from who would have imagined making a 3D full length feature film, coming from a background of where you were primarily doing 5 seconds or 10 seconds of work.
Right.
So a 93-minute feature film is a humongous task. So yeah, it's been a good development. Even if we want to talk about other studios and the other kind of work that is happening in India, a lot of outsourcing work has happened in the country
Hmm.
over the past so many years. In fact, one of the reasons I believe that we have not, or we have failed to become a powerhouse of Indian content is because we have focused too much on outsourcing and servicing other people's dreams.
Right.
And in the process, we've not given enough credit, enough credence, and enough support to our own dreams and our own ideas and our own stories. And so, but the flip side of that has been that having worked on international projects, Indian artists today are competing with the best
Hmm.
because they've been exposed to what good quality work actually means. And if you need to really be able to sell your work on the international market, there's a certain benchmark of quality that you have to maintain. So, every cloud has a silver lining. I mean, there's
Right.
no two ways about it. So yes, we may have fallen back on our own content creation, but we've landed up with a a manpower resource which is now very well trained and adept at producing international quality work.
Right.
So I'm just waiting for the right pieces to fall into place, and this talent creating truly Indian content. Uh, Case in point, recently we've had Narasimha, which is doing
Hmm.
really well. I mean, kudos to Ashwin and his team for having created a film that is now probably going to change the narrative
Right.
in mainstream cinema. So it's been an exciting development
Okay.
overall.
So you have a workshop with AFT students, right, for the day of orientation. So you must have heard about the question about technology. So how do you take the role of technology for the next gen animation?
See, technology has, and I personally believe will always remain a tool.
Hmm.
And I think we should not allow technology to drive us. We should be the ones who should be driving the technology. If we can keep that clear in our heads, I think we have nothing to worry about.
Right.
What I do see as a worrying pattern is that somewhere down the line, we are falling into the trap of a little bit of laziness because of the development of AI and the possibilities that it opens up. Uh, but the fear being that you don't want mediocrity to become the norm. Because if you are going to leave everything to a cloud in the sky which is going to create some stuff for you, where is your creativity then? How are you challenging yourself on an everyday basis? How are you challenging yourself to create something new? So yes, there are arguments on both sides. It's a long discussion, no point in getting into that, uh, because the supporters of AI will say, well, we are using it as a tool to get inspiration.
Hmm.
uh, yeah, I mean, books can inspire you, real life can inspire you, so AI can inspire you,
Right.
but at the end of the day, it is still stuff that belongs to someone else. It is still stuff that has been used, whether legitimately or illegitimately, to train these large language models. We are seeing every day, somewhere or the other, someone is kind of challenging the validity of the data that is being used. Recently, we heard, I think Disney has sued
Hmm.
Midjourney. Why are they doing that? If it was such a great thing, why would a company like Disney say that, no, I want to sue these people for training the model?
Mm,
Because
right.
look, there is something called effort, energy, time that artists have taken to create something. You can't just pick that up and say, well, no, okay, AI is now going to use that, and 10 other artists will be able to create the same thing because we didn't bother to ask you
Hmm.
for permission to train our models for it. Now, these are arguments on both sides. I think time will tell where this will head.
Exactly.
Because I could also argue that somebody decided A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, right? So if I'm
Right.
now teaching my child A for apple, I should take someone's permission to do that. So similarly, I'm training the AI model to say A for apple, B for ball, C for cat.
Hmm.
So like I said, there can be arguments on both sides. It's a complicated subject because one, it has hit the world in a manner and in a speed and a pace that I don't think we were ready for. So we are still grappling with it. Legal is still grappling with it. I mean, legally, people are not very clear as to what the stand has to be. So this is anytime there is a disruption of this nature,
Right.
you have to give it time to settle down, for the dust to settle, to people to really understand what the implications are and how to tackle it. So technology to use as a tool is fantastic.
Right.
You just got to be clear, where is it, uh, where is that line which when you cross, you suddenly feel that you're not in control anymore.
You're totally dependent on
And
that.
now you are depending a lot more on the technology to do what you wanted to do.
Right.
I think that is a tipping line that I would not like to cross.
Okay.
I would like to still be at the end where I decide and I drive. And yes, I do use technology to help me, but help me only to the extent that it is help.
Hmm.
And it's not making the decisions for me, or it's not forcing decisions on me, or it's not showing me stuff that, wavers my mind to say, oh, well, this is a better thing. I want to be the person who decides whether, I want to create that or not. So
Right.
I don't know whether I'm able to explain this correctly or not. But as an artist, every artist, I think, always has the desire and the ambition to create something that challenges them from the last project that they've done.
Right.
Uh, a very harsh way of looking at it from a personal standpoint would be, I think AI is democratizing, democratizing, or whatever that word is, uh, mediocrity. If I want to be a lazy artist, I don't want to go through the paces. Let me just cook something up out of a cut paste job of somebody else's work. That's the harsh way of looking at it. But it is an argument.
Right. So you have a session with the students. So what vision you have shared with the young minds, the AFT students?
I think the vision is not to be mine, the vision has to be theirs. As mentors, as teachers, as guides, as people who have probably seen more world than they have and have had more experiences than them, we can only share our experiences.
Right.
I think the worst thing that a teacher can do is to, or a guide can do, is to impose their vision on what a student wants to do. Our role is to ask questions that make them think. Our role is not to give answers to questions they have. That's the one thing that you have to be very clear of as if you really want to be a good guide, because only when they have questions that make them think, they will find the answers to those questions, and they will find those answers to be convincing because they have done the work.
Hmm.
They have figured out what the solution is. So your job is to basically ask the right questions. It's not to provide the right answers,
Right.
because it's their vision. It's not my film. If an animation student is making a film after 3 years, it's not my film, it's their film. It's their baggage, it's their vision, it's their story. At best, what I can do is I can question them on the technicalities of things, and there again, not say this is wrong, but point out, do you think this could be done in any other way? Is saying the same thing,
Hmm.
but it's just putting it in a different way where you say, you force the student to think about, is this the only way to do it? Have I missed something?
Hmm.
Can I approach it differently? Which means now you're forcing them to think, and thinking is going to breed, action,
Right.
and action is going to breed progress. So it's a chain reaction. But if I give them the answer, their thinking will stop,
Right.
because then that's it. Okay, I got what I wanted. Next thing. So I think about their vision. The idea is, one, try to help them to find a vision. Try to help them to find what is it that they are looking for, and to ask them the questions that force them to find those answers for themselves. Why have I taken this course in animation, or in data science, or in digital marketing? Why do I want to do this? This is a question that sometimes we even ask our clients when they come with an animation project. They come with a script and say, we want to make an animation commercial. And I say, why animation? And they're very taken aback. We said, look, we're bringing business, and you're asking us why. You have to have clarity as to why you want to use a particular medium, because only then will you start thinking about ways and means in which you will justify the use of that medium.
Right.
You know, if I can shoot a commercial using live actors, why would I want to use animation? It makes no sense at all. So it's only when I want to harness the power of the medium of animation, where anything can happen, right? Reality is suspended, belief is suspended, and I am able to convince people that a tree can talk, right? Or a
Right.
sofa can dance. I can't do that in live action, right?
Right.
I have to use a medium or a technique which will enable me to do that. That's when I will use the medium. So it's a question about, why do you want to enter into an industry that deals in the medium of animation? What is your motivation? And trust me, the day they find their motivation, the day they find the answer to the motivation, there's no stopping them there. Because then that goal becomes very clear.
Right.
Me telling them that there is a huge career graph in front of you, or there's many job opportunities in front of you, if their heart is not in it, if you're not convinced that why you are doing this, what is the reason for getting into this field, you will lose interest after some time, because you don't get a job, you'll say wrong industry,
True.
right? But if you're convinced, you don't get a job, you'll keep trying. If nothing else, you say the hell with it, I'm going to start my own studio, right? So it's just a perspective. So my advice to students has always been this, that don't come to me for answers, because you're only going to get questions. You will have to do the dog work, like I did the dog work. I found answers for myself. You go find answers for yourself, and those will become the building blocks and foundations for you to go forward.
Okay. And talking about being an author, so what motivates you to write on animation?
Well, this book was actually written because it's a book. It's called Animation Production Management, and it's called the art of animation production management.
Hmm.
It's not the business of animation production management. And the reason I wrote this was because I think animation production is a very misunderstood subject, and we unfortunately we don't have structured courses and formal training, data available for it. So this actually happened as a very light-hearted comment that a production coordinator, made,
Hmm.
saying that, sir, all this that you keep teaching us on the floor every day, why don't you put it in a book? As who's going to read my book? He said, you don't understand. Nobody talks about these things. It's only when you are in the company of people who know the business and who know how to make things happen that we get to learn. And that got me thinking. I said, okay, that's a valid point. I mean, how many kids can really benefit if we show them that there is a structured way of doing things? There is a method to the madness. How that madness can become enjoyable. So that's how I started writing. I just started putting some notes together from everyday life, experiences from what happened on certain productions, on certain projects. Just without naming those projects and productions, it's just putting the learnings from that. And slowly it started taking the shape of a manuscript. And then I suddenly had like about, I think about 200 or 300 pages, which I didn't know what to do with. And then I said, okay, maybe time to explore writing a book. And then converted that into a book. And then, long story short, at the end of the day, it was picked up by Macmillan India, and it got published in 2012. Unfortunately, it's no longer in circulation. There is only a digital rendition available, and that also I don't know what is the fate of that. So, yes, the material is out there, but it was done like what, 10, 12 years ago, long time ago.
Okay. And what's your vision for the Indian animation for the world?
I don't know whether you want to call it a vision, but I have wishful thinking that we have a huge opportunity in front of us.
Hmm.
Specifically because I don't think Indian animation, and what I call Indian animation, is not a foreign studio sitting here with Indian artists. That is not Indian animation. To me, Indian animation truly is where the writer, director, conceptualizer, visualizer, animator, artist is everybody is from India, sitting, telling our stories for our people.
Right.
That is genuinely, truly Indian animation. I think there's a huge opportunity. We haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg there. We believe our film Return of the Jungle, the 93-minute Hindi animated feature that we are making, will help us to sell this idea to people that there is a world out there which is up for taking. There are people out there who are waiting to be entertained in their own language, with their own sensibilities,
Hmm.
about their own culture, about their own people. Something that they can relate to, something that they can connect with.
Right.
So we don't need these crutches of running behind the international productions on cultures which we don't understand. Huge market. Regional content, don't even get me started on that, because I haven't seen a regional animation film. Why? Don't we have artists? Of course we
We
do.
were.
Don't we have money? Of course we do. Do we have one gutsy madcap director or creator who says, I'm going to do it? Maybe not yet. I'm sure we'll get there. And the day that happens, trust me, there will be no shortage of our content flooding the overseas markets.
Sure.
It just needs that patience, perseverance, and the conviction that we want to do it. If you're going to run behind the easy route, well, then there is international productions, there is international outsourcing work, there's a lot of money to be made there. That's the easy route out. The hard part is doing it for yourself and doing it for your own people and breaking into a market where it is actually very difficult to get into.
Right.
Because you're competing with the best in the world. But I'm optimistic, as always.
Last, what message you wanted to convey to the students who are starting their career in animation?
Well, the message has been consistent all around for so many years. Be patient, persevere, don't give up easily, be stubborn. Be clear why you have chosen this industry and this field, and absorb, learn, saturate, absorb with knowledge wherever you can get it, however you can get it. The most selfish thing that you should bring to the table is a hunger for knowledge,
Right.
and there's no shame in that. So, wherever you can get, however you can get, whenever you can get, if you're getting knowledge, run behind it because it will help you at the end of the day. Don't be in a rush. There is no race. There is no finish line which you have to run and reach first. There is enough space for everybody. Take your time, get your fundamentals right. Make sure that you understand the fundamentals before you start running to technology to give you solutions. Because when technology gives you solutions, somewhere down the line you don't understand the nuts and bolts behind it. And the day that technology is not available to you, you will be handicapped.
Right.
So what you have to be is aim to be a troubleshooter. Don't just look at yourself as I want to be an animation filmmaker or I want to be a digital marketing person or I want to be a fashion designer. No, you got to be a troubleshooter. Design in its essence has a simple word meaning: solution. Design is a solution. Now, what you are doing with an animation film, you're also providing a solution for entertainment,
Hmm.
right? It's a solution where you bring out all your creativity and entertain people, but you have to be clear that this entertainment is not something that you can ram down their throats.
Right.
They have to be willing to be entertained by your content, which means your content has to have the ability to engage. It has to have the ability to connect. It has to have the ability to draw the audience in and say, okay, I see myself in this. Okay, I can understand what's going on here. Okay, I know what this is all about, which you can't do with content that's not your own. It's very difficult. So you can probably understand how, if you have a brother or
Hmm.
if you have a sister, you can probably understand what a sibling rivalry is, right? But if you are a lone child in a family, you will never understand the concept of sibling rivalry,
Right.
right? You will never understand that concept of, yes, there is a fight, yes, there is a scratching, and yes, there is hitting, and yes, there is pawing, but then there is also unconditional love because you are a lone child. It's the same thing. Till you get to a situation where you are able to relate to a to a particular point that you're trying to make, or the film is making, or your content is making, your audience is never going to get hooked. Your aim is to hook the audience and make them remain seated in their seats for the entire duration of whatever you're showing. That can only happen if you can get into their head. And the way to get into their head is first be honest with yourself.
Hmm.
Know the subject that you're talking about. Depict that subject honestly. Don't treat the audience like a fool. In our country, unfortunately for us, animation has over a period of time
Hmm.
become stuff where, oh, if we as adults can't see it, then बच्चों को दे दो.
Hmm.
बच्चे देख लेंगे animation.
Right.
Our film doesn't do that. Our film has been designed from a standpoint that yes, kids will watch it, but parents, grandparents will love to watch it with them. So I am not going to talk down to the children. I'm not going to treat the child like an idiot, somebody who needs to be spoken to and told
Hmm.
things. No, they are the heroes of the film. They are the characters of the film. They interact with each other the way that they would in a normal everyday conversation. The language of our film is also the language that you and I are sitting and talking in.
Right.
So it's not fanciful language where you feel who talks like that, which a lot of you would see in television serials.
Hmm.
You would find language of who converses like that in families, right?
Right.
And that's why a large part of the audience also gets a little, freaked out. कि ऐसे कौन करता है? Yes, that also has its own fan following and has its own fan base. So the point I'm making is that from a connect and a story point of view, students have to be very clear that this is a long haul game. Patience will get you everywhere. Don't be in a rush. Take your time. Do your research. Don't overtly try to force technology to solve your problems. Use technology judiciously. Use it smartly. Definitely use it because it can help you save time. It can help you save cost. It can help you save effort, money. But don't make it the centerpiece of your existence,
Right.
because then you're going to alienate your audience, and that's the last thing you want as a creator, as a content creator. Because if you alienate them once, remember, you want them as repeat customers, right?
Right.
You want to have a film where you say, okay, this director, this film, I want to go see it, right? So you go and watch a Rohit Shetty flick, and he makes a Singham, and then he says, okay, I want to make Singham 2. 90% of you are going to think of you is going to think, okay, I enjoyed the first one. Do I want to go and say yes? But if you didn't have a good experience the first time, you would be hard pressed to say, I want to go watch a Rohit Shetty flick again. Same thing with any medium. So if you want repeat customers, you got to deliver quality, right? And quality that makes sense, that is relevant.
Right.
So they've got to think like that.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving your insights on animation. It was wonderful meeting you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Welcome, sir.